the assumption is if that's pushing 4,000 CFM out and now it's zeroed in the duct, this must be pushing 4,000 in. One of the things that you'll notice, especially when the collar is down and you see the collar, it will be slack. An easy visual thing to get to zero on the rheostat is that
You'll start seeing it kind of flop.
if there's positive pressure in this thing, it's going to balloon out. If there's negative pressure in there, it's going to be sucked in. So when you first start the whole house fan, it's going to be sucked in. You turn on the blower door. If you went too far, it's going to balloon out. That's going to give you a visual cue to get very close to zero, because once this thing is slack like this and the collar is slack, you'll see it flickering like this. You're close to zero, and then you can start looking at the manometer. But me and him have gotten it down to a science where we can get within 3 pascals of zero without even looking at the manometer, because we're just looking at the hood. That's just the way science is. If it's slack in there, that means that it's close to zero, and then you can look at the manometer to dial it in and do your 10-second.
Another note is we started with the fan on. Turn the fan off before you start hooking this on. It's not like it's going to break anything, but it's going to make your life a little bit more difficult, and it could be a safety concern, because once you hook this fan up there, it's going to start spooling those blades up pretty quickly. You'd be surprised how fast it's going to go. For most fans, unless you're on our really big fans, you're going to be barely turning any juice into this fan. You're making up a very little bit with power. So this thing's going to be free spinning on its own. So you'll want to make sure that you're done handling the fan before you turn on the system, because it'll cause that thing to start spinning.
And when our whole house fan is running, don't put any hands underneath the ring area, because, like you said, if you're testing a 5,000 CFM fan and you run that and this is all connected with the rings open there, and you let it run for a while, our fan will get this blade spinning while it's off up to about 3,500 CFM. So your rheostat is only making up for 1,500 to zero it out in the duct.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that just because you have your rheostat off that the blades are not spinning. Just be very careful, and safety is a primary concern about working with
These straps,
a raised blower door. So
you can just fold back into. There's also the other strap that's on the actual blower door. Make sure those aren't going to flap into the windstream and get caught up into your blade. Just ancillary things that you just be aware of when you're setting this thing up. But yeah, I mean, aside of the safety feature, trying to get that hood over the fan with it on anyways would be difficult. So you'll just want to shut it off.
So women have to be careful around it. They'll suck the hair through it.
Exactly.
What's a good
Small kids. It's a good party trick. Hey, come here, kid. This thing will suck you through.
Yeah, you can get
yeah, like we have a video of people with hats like yours that are tall that walked on their quad cooler and just took their hat off right to the back. So it will pull a ponytail
It's
up in
pulling
there.
a lot of air.
Yeah, when our fan is running, whether this fan is on or off, those blades are spinning, and you have long hair. Do not put your head underneath it. Assume that is moving. If that fan is on,
pools have to have a certain kind of drain now. Are you sure you guys don't have to have a certain kind of fan?
what do you mean?
Safety.
You are going to be hooking up the tube from the B channel input to the actual blower door, just as you would with a blower door test.
A is open and B is.
So if you had like a small mesh netting that was like this tall and went around it, then create like a safety net, kind of
A warning area.
for hair if a woman was doing this, or
Yeah, I mean, it's no different from running a blower door test. When the blower door is out there, you've got this is the intake side, which would be on the inside of the house.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there, your hair could get sucked. And we're just mentioning
Oh,
that
yeah.
the reason we're bringing up the safety issue is that our fan will spin those blades when
Yeah,
you think
so fast.
you think this is off.
Yeah.
This thing will get going.
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear you.
It's surprisingly, it spins enough to where we actually toyed around with removing the actual insides of this fan and seeing if it could just be a passive flow hood.
Yeah, that was one of our design concepts. Is we were going to gut a TEC blower door and remove the motor, remove the blades, remove the grill, and we were going to say this is actually a passive flow hood. It is measuring how much air is going through this 18-inch opening.